Zero.
So, in my quest to not sleep at all,
In your quest to not sleep at all?
I started watching a Netflix show. And I usually do this where like I'll spend 45 minutes looking for something to watch on Netflix and not watch anything and then go to YouTube. Happens all the time. But I stumbled upon a show that I watched the other day and I was like, okay, Archive 81. I put on the first episode. I enjoyed it. Then I watched the second one. Then I watched the third. Then you watch the fourth. And then you get to the fifth and you're just like, fuck it. I'm in it for the whole load. So why not watch the last three? And I did. I spent 8 hours with this show last night. It was enjoyable. But what made me laugh was, I guess this was a pretty well received show, but because Netflix is losing money left and right and is pretty much coming to an end in general. I mean, I don't know. It might not be here this time tomorrow, but right now, I mean, it's looking like Netflix is going to die, which just means Hollywood is truly dead. Boom!
Boom! You did it.
Explosion in the world. Netflix is doomed. Have you ever watched? That's right. The Dicket is here. The West is here. How the West was won with Netflix in ashes.
Have I ever watched what?
When Netflix is in ashes, you have my permission to die.
Then you have my permission to die.
Then you have my permission to die. Now, have you ever watched a Netflix movie, like pure Netflix movie?
Yes.
I have not.
I watched that Will Smith Alien. Essentially, it was a remake of that Jimmy Caan movie.
Okay, forgive me. I was wrong.
Bright.
I watched that one as well. It's one of the worst pieces of shits I've ever watched. Just a garbage movie. Totally garbage. Terrible. And they spent $150 million on that movie, something like that.
It was so forgettable. I don't remember much from it.
I'm gonna look at the budget for Bright. You tell me. Give us a little, what you thought. Your little thoughts on Bright there.
It just felt like it wasn't a movie. It felt like it was part of an idea, and they were planning had the cart before the horse, planning the trilogy before they finished the one movie. And I was like, all right, they're clearly hoping this becomes like a series. And
right.
Remember how you kept hearing about how they're going to do the second one, the third one? It's going to be a new series for Will Smith and Netflix, and everyone hated it.
It was terrible. It was really bad. It came out in 2017. 2017, the budget was $90 to $106 million.
I'm trying to remember if there's any other Netflix movies I watch. I watch a lot of their TV shows.
Yes, the television shows I'll peruse here and there.
They need to just stick with TV shows. Quit fucking around with movies. It's too expensive, and it's not worth it. People aren't tuning in to see their stupid movies.
Well, here's the deal, though. Their television is where they spend the most money because they're paying all these content creators $250 million to bring them content. Like Ryan Murphy. Remember Ryan Murphy, one of the worst content creators ever. I think he's cost them. Let me see. Ryan Murphy has cost Netflix. We're gonna look this up. Netflix deal. Brian Murphy's Netflix deal was $300 million to hire him away from 21st Century Fox. And that was back in 2018. That's when they did that.
What has he done for them? He's still working for FX. I don't know what he's done for them at all.
Right. And then Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes got $150 million from Netflix.
Ryan Murphy's still producing newer shows for FX. So
right.
What has he done for them for that amount of money?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm looking at the movies that Netflix has done because I never actually taken a peek and see like the whole list. But The Gray Man is their newest one. That's the one with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. They did make Mank. I do want to see that one, the David Fincher one. I still haven't seen it.
I've seen some. It's boring.
I haven't even seen it pop up on my list yet.
Wow.
it's like these movies are hard to see, and I still haven't watched the Breaking Bad movie. I haven't watched Bird Box yet. Those two I do want to see.
Oh, no interest. I have zero interest in any of them.
Oh, I did watch Triple Frontier. I didn't finish it though. I watched all but the last like half an hour. It's a Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
And then we have Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I haven't seen yet.
That one's good.
I did watch Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
I didn't watch that one.
It was good, not great.
Right. But that I don't think that was a Netflix originally. They just bought that movie.
Yeah, it's hard to tell anymore.
Because most of the stuff that Netflix does, they just buy it. They don't make it, they buy it. And the only thing that they're really putting money in is probably the television shows. But then again, I think they just buy it. A lot of their shows are all foreign shows. Like I would say about 80% of them, 80% of everything on Netflix is foreign.
Yeah, they're dark.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And that stuff's like super popular, and so is Squid Games and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that seems to be the best deal for Netflix is they pay the least for those, and they become international hits. But where they're losing, where they're getting, what the problem with Netflix is they've hit the ceiling with subscribers. They can't get beyond a certain number. And now that 2022, they lost 25% in stock alone, and that's pretty bad. That's a huge chunk, and that's just and they got no new subscribers the last quarter, and they're trying to install a pay service where it's going to have commercials, and even Disney Plus is getting into that game, so that's going to cause Disney Plus problems. I think streaming, you're going to hit that wall where it's like, well, shit, why do I need all these streamers? You have to pay for each individual streaming guy. I don't like what they offer. It's basically satellite television all over again, where you had to buy specific channels and packages. And it's like, well, I don't want this one because they don't give me that, but then I can't get that package because they don't have this. And all these streaming companies are all different, production companies and studios. So it's really just a big clusterfuck. It's going to get worse. It's like
the only one that has something beyond what just a streaming platform is Amazon, because it's built around their funds coming off of the actual products that they're selling. And they have it on the side where you get Amazon Prime and you get the Amazon Prime Video with that.
But technically, Amazon has never pulled in a profit. Technically, because they spend so much money on distribution and hiring and building depots everywhere in the country that they really have never brought in a profit. So their money is constantly in expenditures. So that's what's kind of interesting about Amazon. You can say what you want, but poor Netflix. I mean, this used to be like the king of streaming. Like, remember when it was like, because the problem was no one else had streaming services yet. Like, they had The Office, they had Friends, then they had, now they have Seinfeld. But after that, after a certain amount of time, Seinfeld's going to go away, and they'll have no more big-time shows to keep people in tune to Netflix. And no one's going to watch their original shows because nobody's watching their original shows.
Except a handful.
Shit.
They do have they have their popular shows that flare up. Like any show that Mike Flanagan does pops up for them and it gets really popular, but it's they're like one-off seasons.
Right.
Orange is the New Black is done. Stranger Things has another season left.
Right. One more season.
Beyond that, Squid Games might be their only property that people actually want to tune in for, and I don't give a shit about season 2 for that. It's gonna suck.
I haven't watched season 1. I don't.
It's good.
I don't watch what normal people like to watch. I just don't care. I don't know. I don't mean to be contrarian, but I just don't care. Like, that's the problem I'm having lately is I can't watch anything new, not even theaters either. I've been watching older movies lately. I just don't have the energy to just go out and see anything new anymore because it just sucks. It all looks the same. It all looks like a Netflix movie, They don't look cinematic. They look like they were made for TV. It's like a well-polished TV episode. It's just like, it's boring. It's all boring stuff now. And it's really disappointing because it's like, I wish people would be more enthused about the cinema, like Martin Scorsese, but nobody wants to do that because they're just like, oh, whatever. People just like to watch movies at home now. It's like, no, you need to keep the theaters alive because what's the point? Like, going to the theaters, where the fun is. Well, yeah, but I think the problem with the theater now is it's everybody else. People hate people so much now. It's just like, do you really want to go to the theater and have a guy behind you, especially if you go see a Marvel movie, and that fucking guy behind you going, awesome. Oh, awesome. Like that fucking mouth breather behind you eating popcorn. And
I thought you were doing the voice from John Carpenter's Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Oh, Daddy.
oh, Daddy. Oh, Scotcho. No, don't die for the soul stone. No. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I'm so sad. They killed her character off. And I guess the Disney Plus show now is the Incredible Hulk show, the She-Hulk.
Oh,
I guess that first episode is so bad, everybody's trashing it because like they were comparing it to the Hulk, who's like the string of the Hulk's misery is like so long, and his anger, like, and they compare it to a woman's anger. It's like, I'm angry all the time. You man, you're a man. Why are you angry? I'm a woman. And it's like, oh Christ. It's so it's like I love the memes now coming out, like all the Twitter reactions. They're saying like, oh, hold on now. Bruce Banner's love of his life was murdered, had to die for the Soul Stone. So he's lost everyone he's ever loved. So, the Hulk's had it pretty rough. Like, what's the problem?
No,
Leave the Hulk alone, you bitch.
Dick, but she's a woman.
She's a woman, yeah, of course, yes. She has to be catcalled because she's so attractive, and that's annoying to be so attractive, and she's so smart. She hates it when men try to tell her how to do things, condescend to her because she's a girl. It's like,
and I understand that that would be frustrating. It would be, but you don't compare it to someone else's pain and suffering after they lost the love of their life.
Over tragedy, yeah, tragic losses, and like having to deal with horrible outcomes because you change into a big green man and you've murdered people accidentally.
Motherfucker fought like Thanos in one after losing half the old life, and he
my God,
still, you have no idea. Yeah, I've seen the pictures, but I don't know. I'll watch it eventually.
They're hilarious,
but
I have no interest in it. I guess they were saying even the editing is bad. Like there's a fight scene and the cuts are so bad. It's just like it's edited poorly. Oh, what happened? Yeah,
I was going to bring up fight scenes. I
finally
got around. We watched 4 or 5 episodes so far of Boba Fett. The book of Boba Fett.
Right, yeah.
He is so old in these fight scenes, and he's just.
Well, they called him Boba Fett, like because he's 65 years old. What do you want, the poor bastard?
Why are they so determined to show him shirtless in every third scene? He has his shirt off, and he's got the Robert Mitchum belly, and he's like, I'm a tough dude. And you're like, you are not.
He's got his sweatpants over his belly coming out of the back of tank.
Nah.
Like that's the old. They hide your beer belly, and so they're just hiding his 6-year-old beer gut because
they shaved off all his hair, so he's smooth.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
It's so funny. I love that. I thought that was hilarious. Everyone calling him Bobo Fat and retired fat, and just making fun of him. And it's like the guy's in his 60s. Give the guy a break. It's like God, the guy's in pretty good shape for 65.
Yeah, but
no.
Maybe don't have him have action sequences. I don't know, because there's one where he gets in a fight with a Wookiee, and it's clearly CG, and it's because he does the Spider-Man 2002 Spider-Man thing where he shrinks, gets really skinny when he flies, and gains the weight again when he lands. I was laughing so hard.
He pulled the Lawrence Fishburne trick from that movie we watched with Nick Cage.
Yeah,
where Lawrence Fishburne is Lawrence Fishburne, who's 300 pounds, is turned into a naked white man who weighs 150 tied to a toilet, and then they bring him out, and Nick Cage has his revenge on him. You should have killed me.
But going back to streaming and just in general, I don't want to watch movies on streaming services. I want to watch, if it's a movie I want to watch and it's a director I like. That's why I haven't watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I want to go see that in the theater because I've seen many of the last Coen Brothers movies in the theater, and this one I haven't watched this one. I haven't watched Macbeth. I just haven't watched them because I don't.
Right.
A movie I'm excited to see because I want to see that director's movie. I want to go to the theater and watch that. I don't want to sit there at home. It's just I don't know if it's a preference, but I want to have that experience. And at home, I'm just like it's forgettable. tune it out after a while.
Well, that's the problem with like these mega multiplexes. It's like you have 20 screens. Why can't you have one screen with independent movies? You have to put another fucking 4 in the 20 screens. You gotta have 20 screens of Thor. It's like, give me a break. You can put it on like in another theater after the independent movie. Just have an air, have that, avant-garde movie. But I mean, they've talked about that for years, trying to figure out how to do that. And you thought multiplexes would do it, and they're just not doing it because again, if person shows up, it's not. They're not even getting the money for the tickets. Really, and they don't buy snacks. They want the 13-year-olds to come in watching the superhero movies, eating fucking 500 gallons of soda and Skittles, and giving them $5,000 a pound for that. It's just so ridiculous. The prices in the theaters are ridiculous, which is another reason why people don't go. They might as well just stay home. I mean, shit, you're talking about you take your family. If you're taking your family to go see a Disney movie, you figured you got like 4 kids because you're going to bring the neighborhood kids with you, their friends. That's $12 a ticket if you're lucky. $12 a ticket. Then I got to get the family pack of soda and popcorn. That's a large popcorn, 2 large sodas. That's $30. And then it's like, well, I want candy. Well, you should have brought some from home. But okay, we're here. Here, give me some Snickers. Give me M&Ms. $4, $5 for that. And then it's like, well, I dropped the soda. I don't want a soda. I want an IC. God damn it! I said bring a bottle of water. But now you gotta get the IC now. And it's just never. They just constantly add to your hell of living with this.
This is quite the rant here for a man who has no kids,
no family. Yeah, I don't experience it. It's fine. I have a good time going to the theater. It's great. I get my foot
you can
long,
still sit in the back in your trench coat.
Exactly. I got my treasure, my love chest shirt on, watching Minions with no pants on.
You offer to lighten the parents' load by taking one of the kids. It's fine.
I want to buy your children. How much for your daughter? I'll buy her right now.
$2,000. I'll go get you 4 bags of Skittles and popcorn. That's $2,000.
We will trade. We trade here in the studio, the theater. I shall give you. Do you want Snickers bites or do you want the Kit Kat bites?
Get Dippin' Dots.
You offer Kit Kat bites. Dippin' Dots, the ice cream. Do you like that? I gave it to you for your daughter.
It's all sticky.
She is virgin, no?
Been in trench coat many weeks.
I can get you White Castle burger. How about that? Chicken legs, fried chicken sticks. How about that? That's when you knew theaters, the food was disgusting. Was when AMC had fucking chicken tenders. Like, I don't want to spend $12 on AMC chicken tenders. I'm sorry.
I used to do that only because I'm like, I don't want to go eat beforehand. I'll get the chicken tenders.
and you were in a bad place in your life. You're in a suicidal path. I was thinking of driving my car into an embankment on the side.
I will say, though, theaters that have the bar attached to it, amazing. Yeah, those are great.
Well, all of them do now. I feel like every theater over here, everyone has a bar. And they charge. I mean, they're charging $10 for a glass of wine. It's in a plastic cup, but still, I mean, I get you got to overcharge for that shit.
Hey,
but again,
it's an experience.
Yeah, but I mean that's to an extent. Yeah, but again, a lot of people don't want to spend that much money. That's why they're staying away from theaters. And plus, also the movies aren't that good. I mean, nobody, like I said, when a Netflix movie looks like a movie that's coming out in the theater, because they all look the same now. They're all shot like movie shows or the TV shows. It's you got your it's all coverage. It's all done in camera coverage to edit the scene, so you don't have to mess with anything. Nobody takes the chances with camera movement. It's always a wide shot, close up, medium, and it's like that's it. And the action scene is done off with like the second unit, and they've already pre-vis the fight scene, so that's been done for months. So like again, it's like everything's been done, it's pre-planned. So it's like, well, by the time this comes out, I've already seen this fight scene. It's a rehash of some John Wick movie.
Yeah, when you had your hand on the ceiling there, I was pretending you were upside down doing a handstand. It was amusing.
It's like Beast.
Yeah. Or it's
like Airplane
in Starman.
Yeah. Go very fast. Yellow, go very fast.
Yeah.
Roadblock, I guess. But it's just the state of movies is just terrible, which is why I think streaming took off so hard in the beginning. And now, since now we're used to streaming, it's starting to fade because it's all the same. It's like, I mean, you look at the Russo brothers left Marvel to make a bunch of Netflix movies. Like that was their big deal after they made like the biggest movie of all time. Oh, we're gonna go make Netflix movies now. It's like, what? Why? Go make a big screen. Go make a movie for a studio, like a big action, event movie. But no, you're gonna make Netflix movies. Like they're $200 million budgeted movies, and they just pay you out basically. So you don't, because like you're not gonna make box office. You're not getting extra cheese for it because it's not like they're gonna sell it on video or Blu-ray. It's just gonna be on the streaming service.
Make your money. So you got a guaranteed contract. I kind of get it, but
well, I get it. Well, it's like
then you get the gray man, and nobody cares.
Well, that's the thing. Is that, but Chris Pratt did. Oh God, what was it Tomorrow War? That was the big release on Amazon last summer. So I guess that was going to be a Paramount movie. Paramount spent like $120 million on it, and they thought that it was not going to break that amount at the box office. They felt like, okay, this might be a dud. So they sold it to Amazon for like $200 million. So you figured they got $100 million or $60 million profit because they paid for the budget, 120, and then the 60 extra for the $200 million price tag. And you figured they don't have to pay for marketing. So that's all $60 million profit for that movie. Amazon does all the marketing because it's their movie now, so they're going to pump the shit out of it. So you're talking Tomorrow War on every Amazon box in the country that was delivered at the time. What a massive marketing strategy. I mean, that's every package in the United States and the world for like 6 months leading up to Tomorrow War. Like, I remember getting those boxes and like, Chris Pratt to Tomorrow War. What the fuck is this? This is Guardians of the Galaxy 3? What is this? Chris Pratt, what are you doing? And then he goes up and does the Terminal List. Big show. I watched it. I watched Amazon movies. It was just okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. Marilyn Ratzkup's in it.
Oh, really?
Marilyn Ratzkup's in it for a minute, and she dies. And the original version of that movie was way more interesting because the whole premise is there's a war in the future happening, so they're taking people from the past to fight in the war because they're running out of people to fight this war. And I guess the original concept was the people they're taking from the past, they were essentially poisoning them because they would be eaten by the aliens. And so they were basically going to die anyway. So they figured this will be a way for us to spread this disease in the alien colonies, and maybe that'll wipe them out. So that was the scam. They were basically sending these people back to be cannon fodder because they were basically taking random people, training them for literally 3 weeks, and then they send them into the war zone, which is like kind of goofy. And the premise itself is silly. It's just like, why would you do that?
Even though you have time travel, they still only training him 3 weeks. Train as long as you want.
Because the window
time traveling.
Well, that's the thing. The window, the window of the time leap or whatever is X amount of time. So you don't. It's something like that. Like there's rules to it.
Okay.
Convoluted rules. They can't just like go into a pocket dimension and train for 6 years and then come out and be badasses. But so basically, like what's funny is they get people who are accountants. It's like, what do you do? Oh, I'm an accountant. And here's your gun. This is how you shoot it. Like, okay, go into the war zone and get killed in 2 seconds. It's like, no wars fought like that.
They were.
Except the Civil War. Well, the Civil War.
World War II.
The Irish. Well, I mean, they were trained for a lot longer than this. And they weren't fighting aliens. They were fighting humans.
But still, like, it would just be any war with
advanced technology.
Yeah.
Right. Well, granted. Okay, fine.
The Tomorrow War Goose?
So what's that?
I don't know, but
they set it up for a sequel, though. They did set it up for a sequel, and I hope it doesn't happen because it doesn't need one. And then you had the J.K. Simmons in it.
Like time travel and wars, I still haven't seen Live Die Repeat. I don't know why.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
that was a great movie. You should really watch that. Yeah, I guess a brand new 4K just came out for that, so You should pick it up. It's pretty good. I need to get it. Bill Paxton's in it.
Ooh,
It's one of Bill Paxton's last movies.
that's good to know.
He's the drill sergeant. He's actually fun. He's a good part. He's in Tom Cruise Live Die Repeat. It's essentially he lives the same day over and over again. So he dies. Every time he dies, he has to repeat the day. And there's a lot of humor in that.
We did a podcast
a lot.
We did the podcast. We did one of the episodes that we listened to was a review of, and I wanted to not watch the movie when I listened to the podcast to see how good they described it. So I know everything that happens in it. And I still want to watch it.
It's good.
Okay,
it's a good movie.
Streaming. Hulu is the only one who has it right at this point because they act like it's just regular TV. So you kind of get that familiar thing. They do movies, and their movies actually kind of look interesting. I'm starting to watch some more of theirs, but they also still have that garbage that Netflix does. Part of the reason I like Netflix is because they buy like the really cheap horror movies, and I love watching them and making fun of them.
Well, that's why I got Shudder.
Now. Yeah.
Well, Hulu's going to have the new Hellraiser movie that I want to see, so I got to get Hulu. And they had Prey. They had the new Predator movie, which is pretty good. I heard was good.
Yeah, it was solid. I watched it.
Yeah, because Hulu seems to be where it's at because they're technically a part of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
because Disney that's Fox. Hulu was Fox basically, and
they have a good deal
Disney
where you can get a bundle.
Is that what it is? Oh, with ESPN, Disney Plus, and Hulu.
Yeah, I have that, and I watch all three of those because I watch UFC. I got kids, Disney Plus, and I watch the Disney stuff too. But Hulu,
Simpsons
has all my Fox shows, so you get the Simpsons on there. You get that's on Disney Plus, but you also get American Dads on there because I watch that religiously.
Right, that's cool. But I guess they're going to raise the price of Disney Plus coming up because Disney Plus, I guess they're starting to hurt too. So they're saying they're going to have a tier scale where you can pay with commercials, or you can commercials will be free. Without commercials, you got to pay. And I think there's like 2 levels of payment. So I don't know how that's going to work out. It's going to be interesting because everybody and HBO Max is on its way out because Discovery Plus is going to reform that. So
that's the sad
HBO Max days are numbered. So watch out.
And HBO Max is the best value for your dollar is HBO Max. There's so much.
Yeah, but they really fucked. They fucked the pooch so bad in 2021 when they had day and date release of their movies.
Yeah.
They had the newest movie come out and they came on HBO Max the same day, and like nobody gave a shit because nobody like subscribed to HBO Max for any of these reasons. I guess the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League ultimately now, after all said and done, that movie did nothing for the streaming service. Like it did nothing. They said there was no impact at all to the subscribers. So they were just like all that panting from the fans and all this shit didn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah,
it was fine. I'm glad they did. They owed Zack Snyder that much, I think. Though I think Zack Snyder movies are terrible. I don't like Zack Snyder movies that much.
Yeah, but they fucked him over when they made that movie, and
yes, they did. Absolutely.
Happened. And I'm glad he got his cut because it was way better than the original cut.
Yes, it was. It was. And now they're trying to recycle Ezra Miller because I guess the Flash movie is supposed to be really good, and they don't want to fire Ezra Miller because that would wreck that. They've already lost Batgirl because they don't give a fuck about that, which was hilarious. That's probably the best thing I ever read. $90 million write-off. $90 million.
That's so much money to just go.
Well, he don't care. He's the new CEO. He didn't pay for it. The old regime did. That's their problem. That's probably how he thinks about it. He's like, why would I bring this out where it's not going to make? I got to pay to promote it. I got to pay to put it out. It's not going to make any money because it's terrible. And then they're going to get mad at me and not watch the next thing I put out. So let's just start over, restructure, and go from there. And you know what? We were going to lose $90 million on this movie anyway. We might have lost $150 million on this movie if it was released because you're going to pay $100 million for advertising. So again, it's smart. It's the best thing to do. He's not an idiot. This guy knows what he's doing because it's like, and then people, but it was the whole, she's a Latina. They canceled the Latina superhero movie. How dare you? Well, don't make it shitty. Make it good. That's your first lesson. Make it a good movie. I don't care who's in it. Yeah.
people our age want to see Michael Keaton back. I just want to see him in
Yeah.
a suit and gold. And
Well, he's
now
coming. He's coming back. No, he's coming back. He's in the Flash. He's in the Flash movie.
the Flash movie
That's
that
why
we will
they can
never
do
see.
that. No, that's still coming out. That's why I said they made Ezra Miller apologize. That movie's coming out. Flashpoint's still coming out.
I figured that was
same
thing was gonna happen.
No. Flashpoint they said is solid. That's the big one they're kind of pushing because Michael Keaton's in that one. But apparently in Batgirl, Michael Keaton gets killed. They kill Batman in Batgirl. That's what they do. So they would have done that, and then it ties. So that's what I heard. Batgirl, they actually kill the Batman. Michael Keaton gets killed, and that's why I think Batgirl takes over is because he dies. So that was why I think they said this is going to piss everybody off. This is going to be a bomb. We ain't doing this. I think that's what the original intention was. But... Yeah, I think that's what I heard. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. Who knows? But we'll never know because it'll never be released. But oh god, I hope there's a bootleg. There's got to be a bootleg somewhere. And they'll just dump it on the internet.
It's going to get leaked at some point.
Yeah. Well, the directors are going to leak it, just like Deadpool. They leaked that thing because Fox forever didn't want to do Deadpool, and then Ryan Reynolds and the director leaked that whole pre-viz sequence that they did, which that was 100% leaked on purpose to get people. And Fox made billions of dollars on that. They did smart. They were smart enough to say, you know what, this is a good idea. Let's do it. And now who knows when Disney's going to do it?
You know what Disney's actually doing though is I was on my Disney Plus looking around at movies and I'm like, oh, Deadpool's actually on here now. It's not just on Hulu. Yeah, they actually have it on Disney Plus.
They're starting to put R-rated stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah, finally. And I'm like, isn't that the whole point of having the adult versus kids profile?
Right.
But
you'd think so.
They finally wised up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a strange world to live in right now because I mean, I'm obviously not the first person to make this observation, but it's going to be everyone hated cable because you had to get these packages, these deals that they made in the back end there that you have no control over. And now it all shifted away to streaming, each individual service. Now those are starting to kind of become conglomerates on their own. They're all going to start coming together because eventually there's going to be like a weird fire sale where Netflix is like, all right, we got to sell to Disney, and that's going to be part of their package. It's just going to come right back together.
You're basically going to have a bunch of mergers, and there's going to be like the networks. There's going to end up being 4 streaming services, like there's 4 networks.
And then we're right back to where we are.
You're going to have, nothing changes. Nothing changes. The only difference is the TVs are bigger, the sound's better, and the picture quality is better. But it's like, the content is shit. And the content hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten worse. I mean, 9 times out of 10, a movie that comes out is garbage. And even a TV show, it's like I don't even watch. Like I said, I stumbled into watching a Netflix show because I'm just so bored. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll try it. And I'm watching the whole thing one night and binge. But again, it's like they didn't renew it. They canceled it because they didn't want to spend the money on it. And it's kind of funny because they leave it open for the second season. And there's like a few unanswered questions. But again, it's like it's a show where the ending kind of fits. Like if they were going to end it on that note, I'm kind of like, okay, I can accept that. That's fine. Because you can have your own idea of where the show is going to go at that point. And it's like, okay, he goes and he saves his dad maybe, but he's trapped in 1994. And then she's okay. The whole point was to get her back into her timeline. They did. But then the other guy's still around, but he, whatever. It's not important because he could be dead in that other world anyway. It was fine. It was worth watching. It was fun.
It's like how I felt about Stranger Things. Season 1 ended, and I go, I don't need a season 2.
I could be done. Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Yeah. So I didn't watch season 2 until very recently. That's why I didn't watch it anymore. I'm like, for me, it's wrapped up. There's not a cliffhanger really, and I'm fine with the cliffhanger as long as the plot itself is resolved. Right. I hate it when they don't even finish that storyline and it just keeps going. And you're like, ugh. Like if Lost ended after season 1, you'd be like, fuck you. Like you didn't answer any of your questions. Like that would even be worse than the ending they did give you. But,
I still think the ending they gave me was worse. I hate that ending.
I like it.
I'm not even, I hate it. I think it's so just so shitty. And they had no idea. Again, that's a whole nother episode. Television is dead. It's just like, do you guys really know what you're doing? Do you guys have this all planned out? We don't have a fucking clue where the show is going. And that was a direct quote from one of the writers back in its heyday of Lost. Somebody told me at a party, they met like one of the writers, and he says, "Man, this show's so good. Do you guys have it all planned out? What's the deal? What's going on?" He goes, "We don't have a fucking clue what's going on. We have no idea."
Do you have ideas?
He looks around. Please help me. They're going to take my kid away. They're going to take my son away.
JJ's
trying to save my kids. He's going to get. Oh, that's the other thing. Fucking JJ. He got a big streaming deal with HBO Max. He hasn't done anything. So I guess this new guy in charge is saying, hey, we're going to sue you because you haven't delivered on anything. So there's that. That's going to happen too coming up here. So again, another streaming. Like these guys got their fucking golden parachutes without doing anything. They got like $400 million deals. You can't do that. You can't sustain a company spending that much money up front and then getting pennies on the dollar on the release. Just no way. You can't run a business like that.
The only person who's actually paid off what they've been paid for a streaming service contract is Mike Flanagan. That dude has created so much content for Netflix. He's done movies, he did TV shows, and it's all really good stuff too.
Yeah. Now, I think
like the only one that's consistent.
He's the heavy hitter over there, I think. He's one of the better investments they have.
He got 3 shows with him now, and he did at least one movie. I knew because he did Gerald's Game. I don't know if he did.
Yeah. Hush, Gerald's Game.
Hush. He did The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, and then he did that religious one. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about. Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
I still haven't seen that, but I want to.
I heard it was really good. Yeah. Anyway, he's a house of.
Sorry, go.
No, his next one is House of Usher. He's doing House of Usher.
Yeah,
which is going to be awesome. And I'm excited. I think that's coming out in October. I think they're shooting that right now.
He's quickly became one of my favorite filmmakers, and it's all on Netflix.
He's really good.
So he's the one that's like keying off.
And I can't wait till Something is Killing the Children when he's going to do that for Netflix because that's coming out. I think it's next year.
It's
really? Going to be that's supposed to be the next big show, which I fucking hope so because I have all those comics I got to flip.
I always say his movies, when you read the plot summary, every time I go, that sounds so stupid. And then I watch it, I go, that was fucking great.
This guy's really good.
I was so not looking forward to Dr. Sleep. And then I watched it. I go, it wasn't amazing, but really solid. I wanted to hate that movie, but I was like, this is really good, actually.
I went
like brutally.
I went to Dr. Sleep. I was like, I'll go see it, and it'll be my favorite movie of the year. I was like, this movie's fucking rocking. It's solid.
Yeah.
It's
like
great.
I said, Mike Flanagan.
Holy shit.
Huge fan of him.
He's great.
And he seems like he'd be a guy that would be shitty because all his projects sound stupid. He keeps casting his wife as like Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
And he keeps casting the exact same people in the same roles like Ryan Murphy does.
Yeah.
All his shows. He makes it work, and I'm excited when I see his name. That's why I'm amazed I haven't watched Midnight Mass yet.
Yeah.
Need to.
Yeah.
But
I know what happens though.
He's doing a lot of Stephen King stuff, and then they're also Netflix themselves is doing a lot of Stephen King stuff. They have like Into Tall Grass, and like I said, Gerald's Game, and then they have 1922.
Yeah,
all good, all really good.
Yeah, the other Tall Grass I didn't care for. I thought that was okay. I think 1922 was better, but
In the Tall Grass I reference a lot because of how stupid the plot is.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It's like it's basically Children of the Corn.
Yeah, with a glowing rock.
Like
so I always do the
time
touch the rock thing.
Yeah.
Is
it Patrick Wilson?
Yeah.
Is it Patrick Wilson in that one?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's directing the new Conjuring movie or Insidious. He's directing. Patrick Wilson is directing Insidious 5.
Insidious.
You call it Insidious.
Insidious.
Insidious 5.
Insolence 5.
insidious series. The why do we keep making more of these?
Are they going to
They're
call it Insidious
fine.
5 because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, then the Lost Key or something like that? The
Yeah,
last
but
key, and then back to 5?
yeah. Well, because Insidious 3 was a prequel, wasn't it? Because it was
One of
based
them
on the
was,
girl
yeah, I think that
who
was
died, and it was her first case or whatever, or her first team up with all those guys with the Australian actor who's also the filmmaker, Lee Winnell,
from
who
Saw.
acts
Yeah.
in this movie. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Did you get?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's it. Hey,
I
I
thought,
liked Upgrades. That guy's a hell of a director.
yeah, I like him.
I
I like the
Lee
writing.
Winnell, and I like James Wan. And James Wan also produced Archive 81. So he's
James
one of the
Wan made our
producers.
favorite movie of last year.
Malignant.
See, this is the
Malignant.
slight against having the movies debut when they did in
Yes.
theaters, because that's
Is
how we
yeah.
saw Malignant.
That is
That
the one
movie
exception
was
because
fantastic. It's I've
I
never seen a
gotta
movie with
rewatch
that big
that
of a
one.
budget made sarcastically. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's one giant Andy Kaufman-esque prank. That
It's
movie.
gotta be, and if so,
It's ingenious.
perfectly executed, James Wan. Perfectly executed. I've watched that movie 3 times now.
Well, one would think that having that much money to do a movie like that would be
immoral.
But it's not. It's actually quite a gift to the world.
Yeah, it's incredible. If you haven't seen *Malignant*, go watch it. It's on
it's on HBO Max now.
Yeah,
go get it while you can, because HBO Max
good.
ain't gonna be around for long. So who knows
They
what's
already
gonna
announced-
happen? They're gonna fuse
They
it.
announced a bunch of cuts they're making on their platform. They're deleting like 18 movies and shows or something like that.
Oh, they've canceled like 30 shows. And I guess all the showrunners were tweeting saying like, "Oh, we worked so hard and now we're lost our show." Hey, that's the business, honey. Sorry, this guy ain't fucking around. You guys had it too easy for too long, and now it's time to pay the fucking piper. And it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be beautiful.
They didn't catch them off guard. A lot of these shows were started after they already announced the merger, because they've known about this for a while. That it was going to go from.
Well, they knew the merger, but they didn't know they were going to be canceled because of the merger. Because this guy's cutting costs everywhere. I mean, he's canceled every CNN show. He canceled CNN
every fucking time there's a merger. A lot of shit gets cut. They should have been a little more prepared for that.
Well, but again, I don't think nobody expect. Well, this is. I mean, who would have expected this guy canceling a $90 million movie? That never happens. Like, this is kind of a big event. That's why it's pretty amazing. And again, I mean, they could, again, you have a streaming service, just dump it there. He ain't even going to do that. Like, that's fucking amazing to me. I mean, that's just like, that's a fucking man. He
doesn't even have to pay for it at that point. Just throw it on the platform. Don't advertise it. It's there.
Fuck. He don't give a fuck.
He should put
he'll take
that woman on with the image of the thing, and you click on it, and it's a video of him going his middle finger to the camera. Oh, go fuck yourself. You want to watch
this? You didn't say the magic word.
Oh no, we're at 43.5 minutes, Dick.
Please, God damn this hacker crap. Oh, we'll be done in 2 minutes. So basically, streaming, again, it's going to be the future, but it ain't going to be like it is now. You're going to have, like I said, there'll be 4 major streamers. We'll have to buy our packages again like we did before. Nothing changes. Cyclical as always. So with that respect, I think movie theaters will never go away, because look at Maverick. That movie, again, would have been released streaming. They didn't. Tom Cruise said, "This is the theater event movie. I'm not putting it in streaming. I'll wait." He did, and that paid dividends. That's the biggest movie of the year.
Oh yeah,
it's the biggest movie Paramount has had in like a decade, like since the Transformers movie. They haven't hit that big since Transformers. So that's going to be, I think, the big factor in keeping the theaters around. But they're closing the theatrical window 45 days, which is scary, because that means if you want to see a movie in theater, you have 3 weeks. So that's going to be interesting. But you know what? That's what streaming's for. It's a death trap and it's a death knell, and Hollywood is dead. Thank you for nothing. Go to hell.
Bye.
Bye. That's perfect.